My name is Carolyn, and I am one of the enrollment representatives here at Coursera. Thank you so much for joining our Women in STEM student panel webinar. I'll give people just a few minutes to get settled in, and we'll get started. Great. Today we'll be talking about different fields of engineering and the engineering industry as a whole. We'll also cover topics specifically about female representation in STEM fields and the impact of gender diversity on innovation in this industry. Towards the end of the session, we'll discuss online engineering degrees and hear from an outstanding student panel featuring Sharon Ross from the University of Colorado Boulder, Emily Marcinak from Dartmouth College, Nadij Shinli Pao from University of California, Berkeley, and Mariam Al-Bahari from Northeastern University. All four of these incredible women are actively employed in STEM fields and simultaneously pursuing online degrees with top universities on Coursera. We're so lucky to have them joining us today from all over the world. Thank you so much for being here. To kick things off, I want to introduce my co-host for the day, Ryan West. Ryan West is another enrollment representative here at Coursera and will help to guide us through the presentation. Ryan, please feel free to come off mute and introduce yourself and show us who you are.
Thank you, Carolyn. Hello, everyone. As Carolyn mentioned, my name is Ryan West. I'm an enrollment representative with Coursera and have been in college admissions for quite a long time. I love what I do. I'm passionate about helping people pursue their education. Specifically, I assist with programs within the engineering field for the programs on Coursera. So at some point, maybe I'll end up speaking with some of you, but it's nice to meet everybody today.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you for that introduction. So let's get started with the webinar.
And as a reminder, the session will be recorded and sent out afterwards. So throughout the session, you can go ahead and submit questions in a Q&A. The chat feature will be turned off, so you can use the Q&A. We'll do our best to answer those questions throughout, and we'll also have a formal panel with our keynote speakers at the end of the presentation. If you're asking about a specific program, please make sure you just put in the school and the program and specifics that you're asking about so we can provide the best answer. And let's go through taking a look at today's agenda. We'll begin with an engineering overview featuring the various types of engineering. We'll go through job opportunities and trends. Then we'll move into some of the topics about gender parity and women in STEM. Next, we'll spotlight the degrees that our panelists are enrolled in and speak to them about their experiences in an exclusive panel discussion. Be sure to stick around to hear from these inspiring women. And then finally, we'll close out with an overview of other engineering degrees on Coursera and wrap out right at the top of the hour.
Thank you, Ryan. Before we jump in, we have a quick survey. Here's our question. Are you considering a degree? I'll give you a couple of seconds to respond. All right. People are very active. I love it. Answering the poll here. All right, we'll give it a few more seconds. All right, perfect. So looks like the majority of people here are considering a degree in the next 12 months. That's excellent for Ryan and I. We'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Great. In 2 years, 20%. So perfect. You've been thinking about it, but you're not sure. That's 28%. So hopefully today we can help you decide and make that decision and then work on which program might be the best for you. 11% maybe not in the foreseeable future. Maybe you already have a master's degree, you're in a leadership position already. Hats off to you. But you want to learn more about women in STEM and the trends that are going on right now around the world. So you're in the right place also. Perfect. So let's go to, oops, let me see here. All right. So if you answered yes to the last question, this is our next poll here that we have. If you answered yes to the last question, what is the main reason you might be considering an online degree? The poll is now open. Let's see what's going on. What are the reasons? Why would online maybe be better than on campus, for example? What is that motivation? All right,
Lots
we
of
got a lot of
activity.
voting here.
Thank you for participating, everybody. That's great with the polls. Lots of activity.
Lots of activity. Love it. People are paying attention. Got to be, if you're a good student, you got to pay attention. Let's see. All right, we're going to stop it there maybe, or a little bit more. All right, so the winner right now I'm seeing is gaining specialized skills or knowledge, which you want to become a master in something, right? So that would make sense. Great, we're in the right place again. Advancing in current career. Obviously, a master's degree is going to help with that. Changing careers, we do perfect. This might be a way to get out of that position you're in and move into something that you really enjoy. So great. Personal fulfillment. Maybe you already have a master's. Maybe you already know a lot, but you want to know more. So you just want to continue the learning journey. Excellent. Perfect. So thank you for those results here. Let's go to maybe, I think we might have another poll. Let's look. Last one. If you answered yes to the previous question, well, if you're looking to get a degree, let's see. Do we have, yeah, what's stopping you from taking the leap? Okay, that would be poll two, sorry, poll number 3. There we go. What's stopping you from taking the next step to getting your degree? What's stopping you? Is it finances, time? What could it be? Let's see if we still have that great participation we had before. All right, we'll give it a few more seconds. Since people are so active, we got a great amount. All right, let's see. So the number one, a big winner here is the cost. Is the cost of paying for that master's degree. Maybe you don't have tuition reimbursement from your company, trying to figure out how to finance it. Obviously, that's typical. The nice part about online degrees is normally they can be a little less expensive than the on campus. Time commitment, learning how to manage your time a little bit better with family and having, a high-powered job that takes a lot of time. So learning how to manage your time and your finances. Admissions seems like people are pretty confident about that they have the requirements for admissions. They're motivated to finish. And we do have a fair amount that are ready to enroll, Ryan. That's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. And hopefully we can answer some of those questions for you. All right, so let's see. Let's go to. All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your opinion here and why you're here today. It gives everybody an idea of, what people are looking for. All right, Ryan, why don't we go ahead with some more information about these online programs?
Absolutely. So, as we're speaking about online degrees, they're actually best known for their flexibility and affordability, as Carola just mentioned. In fact, working professionals are the majority of online learners. So, for those of you who are considering getting your degree, but you struggle to find a time, keep in mind 60% of online workers and learners, they work full time. And with the rate of acceptance for online degrees only growing each year, there's a flexible and affordable way for you to be able to level up your learning and advance in your career. As we discussed, obviously, cost is a concern for many. Keep in mind that most of the online degree programs hosted on Coursera allow pay as you go tuition, so you don't have to pay for a full year in advance, you pay as you go. And there's often an opportunity for employer tuition reimbursement. And as a little fun fact, only 2% of working adults take advantage of tuition reimbursement programs. Even if you feel that it's not available in your work, it's always a good thing to check. So talk to your employer or visit the individual degree pages under the financing tab, and you can definitely learn more. And then as we saw on the last slide, online degrees, they're increasingly more accepted by employers, especially post-pandemic. In fact, a study done by the National Association of Colleges and Employers, 87.4% of employers hired new graduates with an online degree in 2024. And to top that off, 100% of those employers paid online degree hires the same starting salary as traditional graduates. Meaning, as an online degree student, it's not only more and more common to find employment post-grad, but in the terms of pay parity, you'll more than likely be compensated the same as a traditional in-person graduate.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Just before we jump into our engineering industry overview, we wanted to present this short video featuring Dartmouth professor Kendall Farnham. Professor Farnham is a current professor of the online Master of Engineering in Computer Engineering, both in person and online. Listen as she shares a bit about the online format, industry knowledge, and advice for those who might be interested in pursuing a master's degree in engineering. Let's take a look.
My teaching is very much of this like iterative, I'm gonna tell you something, you're gonna try it, you're gonna break it, I'm gonna break it, and then we're gonna fix it together, and then, keep on going like that. So I was wondering how to like bring that sort of energy to an online class, because it's really fun. Synchronous sessions that we're in the Dartmouth program, we're doing like, you have 2 synchronous sessions per week, in addition to like all of the asynchronous material. It's like I have videos recorded and like assignments and all this stuff on the platform. And then also there are these 2 recorded sync sessions that they go on the platform too, which was great. I got to like meet a lot of the students and still get that in-person feel a little bit. Honestly, I feel like it's in every industry now, especially now, like technology is everywhere. So it's in every industry. And I think it's more like, how do we teach you how to learn? Because tech is changing so quickly too. So what you learn today as like the gold standard is like, probably not going to be the gold standard in 12 months. We have ChatGPT, but like 3 years ago we had nothing, you know what I mean? So like, and this is all changing so quickly. Now we have like self-driving cars all over the place. Like things are changing very quickly. So you need to be able to like bring in the information that you are looking for, I guess, and know that it's going to change and know where to look when it does change. How do we teach you how to be an effective learner and like just like and an effective communicator? Because that's the other thing that's challenging, and I think in engineering is you can be a really smart engineer, and if you can't communicate your design, then you might as well not be an engineer, because nobody's gonna know what you're talking about and nobody's gonna be able to build with you, and everything is a system, everything is affecting something. So trying to like relate, like, yeah, we're learning this like very specific thing for this class, but this is not just like we're learning this for the class. This is like a life skill that you just like need. This is how you human, you know what I mean? Planning for the future is a good practice in the sense that like it's good to have, a goal or like some objectives to be reaching, but don't like tie yourself to that, because the world is much bigger than you might imagine, and you might learn something that you're like, that actually is super sweet, and now I'm gonna go start my own company based on that. The number of people that I know now who have just like totally pivoted in their field because they learned something is just, it's so many people have done that. So I think if you're thinking about going to grad school and the reason that you're wanting to go to grad school is unclear to you, but you just feel like you should, maybe just try it. What do you have to lose, right? If you're in a stable place right now, then great. Like, take some risks. From a career perspective, as soon as you are expanding your knowledge in any way, it's applicable to your job. So whether you want to go into management, okay, we just learned how to communicate a little bit more effectively. Great, now go into management. So yeah, I think it's a good idea for anybody who's curious about what else is out there beyond their immediate, whatever is in their immediate bubble.
All right, well, thank you, Professor Farnham from Dartmouth College. Right now, we're going to go over the engineering industry overview. And after seeing our poll, it seems like many of you are considering a degree, which is great because it means you're in the right place. A bit later on, we'll hear from our panel about why they chose to pursue an online degree in engineering. Now, let's dive in with an engineering industry overview. The engineering industry is only growing more and more each year. Fortune Business Insights value the market to be growing at a rate of 10.3%, giving advancements in topics like AI, robotics, green engineering, and policy-driven investments. And unsurprisingly, the market for AI engineering is predicted to be an $87.5 billion industry and is also growing rapidly.
And the engineering field is booming indeed. And due to dozens of new roles that have been hitting the market recently and in the last number of years, an AI prompt engineer, renewable energy engineer, quantum computing engineer, autonomous vehicle technicians are just four of the types of roles we have been seeing in this industry. Many of these new roles require, at the minimum, a bachelor's degree in a related engineering field. And our research has shown that some employers also require a master's degree, especially in order to advance to leadership and higher compensated positions. And with that, we'll move into a brief discussion about women in STEM and the value of gender parity within the industry. Our researchers, they took a look at why there could be such a gap in gender representation in STEM, and it seems to begin with young students, with just 28% of female high school graduates noting their interest in a STEM career. It can be common for these female identifying learners to feel the extra challenges of underrepresentation. Subsequently, it can be common for even this 28% to fall out of their career aspirations due to external factors, including growing a family or a lack of leadership representation.
Representation matters at all stages of STEM careers for women and minority groups, namely at these higher managerial levels. On a global level, it can be common to have a smaller number of females representing managerial roles in STEM. For instance, although women in the US are around 47% of entry-level STEM employees, they only form about 25% of senior managers in tech and engineering. So why does this matter? Let's look at the numbers. According to a recent Forbes article, firms with more women in leadership derive around 45% of revenue from innovative products versus 26% in less diverse firms. This study took it a step further and actually also found a direct correlation between gender diversity and profitability. Diversity in thought, innovation, and experiences are key for increased collaboration, communication, problem solving, and the ability to connect with a diverse marketplace. All this to say, we are honored to be proudly supporting our STEM learners.
Honored indeed, Carolyn. Appreciate that. We recently spoke with some of our female educators who are working to deliver top educations to degree seekers online, from Columbia to the US, all the way to London. Here are some of their quotes to kick off our discussion about women in STEM. To highlight one quote from Dr. Fauja from the University of London, I strongly believe that women can be equally outstanding in STEM professions if given the same opportunities. At Coursera, we work with these top universities to help give equal opportunities to all learners worldwide. And with that, I'd love to move into our panel discussion with some of our incredible female learners we have here with us today. And just before we get to the panel, I wanted to take a quick minute to briefly introduce our speakers and the programs and the universities they represent. Keep an eye on the chat for links to check out each of these top programs, all offered 100% online.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. I am excited about this panel. We have Sharon Ross, who joins us today on behalf of the University of Colorado Boulder and its Master of Engineering and Engineering Management program. Sharon has worked in the healthcare industry for over 15 years and is passionate about improving healthcare systems through quality engineering. The ME in Engineering Management program was perfect for Sharon because it welcomes learners who may not have a traditional engineering background. With no application required, this 100% online degree is designed to be flexible for learners who are interested in engineering, but might be wary of the tech side. However, if you're not ready for a degree, you can check out the 2 stackable certificates that can eventually be counted for degree credit if you decide to enroll. Thank you so much for joining us, Sharon. We'll leave this up for just a minute to give you an opportunity to scan the QR code and book a meeting with me or one of our enrollment representatives like Ryan.
And up next, we have Emily Marciniak, who joins us from the Masters of Engineering in Computer Engineering program as a manager of data strategy and engineering at Disney. Emily has nearly a decade of experience in the data space. With the MEng in Computer Engineering degree, Emily's deepening her technical experience and values the program's strong AI focus and flexible structure. This degree from Dartmouth, a proud member of the Ivy League, is 100% online and offers hands-on learning with interactive kits that are sent to the learner's home. As a side note, did you know that more than 25% of Dartmouth's engineering alumni advance to C-suite roles within 5 to 10 years of graduation? Pretty amazing. And take a moment, you can go ahead and scan the QR code to meet with one of our own enrollment representatives about the Dartmouth MEng program.
Excellent. Moving on with Berkeley Engineering and the Master of Advanced Study in Engineering. From this degree program, we are joined by Nadij Shinli-Pao, who has selected robotics and controls from the 4 concentrations offered in this degree. Her motto is one from Aristotle, and it's learn by doing. I love that. I love that. Learn by doing. This aligns perfectly with the MASE and her busy life as she balances working full-time alongside her studies and family responsibilities. Thanks for being here, Nadij. The MASE is 100% online from Berkeley Engineering, a school that is consistently ranked among the top 3 in the nation. With live office hours and flexible schedule, this degree program is definitely one to check out. However, if you're not ready for a degree, you can try the MASE preview course, now free on Coursera Plus. If you have any questions about the Berkeley MASE, scan the QR code to meet with Ryan, who's here today with us, or one of our enrollment representatives like myself.
Thank you, Carolyn. And last but not least, we have Mariam Albari from Northeastern University representing the MS in Data Analytics Engineering, who raves about the program's commitment to hands-on learning. In her quote, she also expresses her appreciation for the opportunity to be part of a Northeastern student body while also maintaining her responsibilities as a full-time employee and parent. The 100% online degree does not require an application, and instead, it lets your performance pave the way to admission. Complete your FAST by the July 25th priority deadline, and you can be eligible to receive a 10% new student scholarship for the first semester. Just make sure to submit your deposit. Scan the QR code on your screen to meet with an enrollment representative and learn more.
All four of these top degree programs are offered in partnership with Coursera. Please refer to the links in the chat to discover more about each program.
All right, and a very exciting part of our time today. We now get the chance to welcome all four of our panelists to join us for our highly anticipated student panel. Thank you each so much again for joining us here today. To start off, can each of you please give a brief introduction to yourself, your work, and what originally got you interested in engineering? And Emily, let's start with you.
Yeah, happy to. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Marciniak. I am located in Orlando, Florida, and I work for Disney, and my role with the company is manager of data strategy and engineering. I've been with the company for just over 3 years, and I've spent about 10 years in the tech and data space across various roles. So the team that I'm on right now, we are building out a data platform, streaming data through in one section of the Disney technology space. I love what I do. I think I've always sort of had an interest in tech in general, both on the hardware side of how things work, but also on the application side of what's behind the software and kind of what's the back end to running a lot of these programs. And I think for me too, so the first thing is really interest that got me to where I am, but the second part of it was when I was in school, I had sort of started in a business and communications focus for studies, and I was looking for a little bit more. I felt almost a little bit bored, and I was looking for something that was a little more challenging. And so STEM is where I thought I could do problem solving, grow who I was, grow my skills. And that's how I got into sort of the space that I am now.
Well, thank you, Emily. Thank you for that introduction. Why don't we move to Sharon? Sharon, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon Ross, and I work as a managed care officer for an ISO certified healthcare provider. So I've been working in healthcare for about 15 years now, and my current role focuses on integrating healthcare services and optimizing processes to enhance efficiency and quality of care. So I also deal with medical emergencies, clinical data, and do different types of data analysis on a daily basis. So my job is quite technical and it's related to management. So before I found CU Boulder's program, I thought I was going to complete my master's and PhD in human factors psychology and work as a psychologist. But while I was in my psychology stats class, my professor and now my mentor thought I would be good at engineering and statistics and encouraged me to explore Lean Six Sigma. So I was very curious as usual, and it drove me to learn more about it. And I ended up completing a Six Sigma yellow belt, green belt, and a certified quality engineer certification through the American Society for Quality. So the more I learn about engineering, the more energetic and enthusiastic I become. So engineering has now become a very important part of my identity. Thank you.
Thank you,
I love
Sharon
that,
and
Sharon.
Emily. Wow. So both of you taking bold steps going into a different direction than what you had anticipated. That takes courage and definitely great job on moving on that. It seems to be paying off well for the both of you now. And next, Mariam, if you'd like to share a little bit.
Sure, thank you everyone. So my name is Mariam Al-Bahri. I'm located in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm a manager and data team lead in EY, and I've been a manager for 3 years and in management consulting generally for around 10 years. I've always been the data scientist in those management consulting firms from Big 3 to Big 4. And I've always had a passion for engineering science ever since I was a kid. I've always loved how things work and why they behave the way they do. And that took me into chemical engineering. And then from there, I found myself dwelling into why things behave the way they do through data. And that got me into data-driven strategies and problem solving, and that's where I am today, in a nutshell.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That very interesting, figuring out how things work. And I love that your curiosity as a child has brought you all the way up to this master's program, and has shaped your career today. All right, why don't we hear from our Berkeley student, Nadij?
Hello, everyone. I am Nadej Shanikau. I currently work in the semiconductor industry, and soon I'll be stepping into another role in engineering alongside my current role, which is a second career for me. I'm currently pursuing my Master of Advanced Study in Engineering at UC Berkeley, focusing on robotics and controls. My journey into engineering began with a childhood love for building and design. It started as a curiosity, and I was also influenced by others, mostly my colleagues at work. And that passion stayed with me, and over time, it evolved into a purpose to innovate and solve real-world problems. That's all. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Solving real world problems. Definitely, I love that this program can help you do that, and that is what your passion is, and that's your curiosity also. So let's shift gears a little bit, now that we understand a little more about your background and your motivations. Why did you make the decision to get your master's degree? How is your master's degree helping you? What was the motivation behind, studying at night and on the weekends, because you're all working full time, you may have families. Why did you make that decision?
Sure, I can start. So
Great, Emily.
for me, it was, I mean, from a very pragmatic approach, it's a resume differentiator, right? It's, you're building skills, but also it's something that's really going to build you and have something on your resume. When I was at Anheuser-Busch, where I was working about 5 years ago, that was my first transition into cloud development and like higher technical level. And I was learning a lot on the job, but I really wanted to have more foundation and have the ability to sort of excel in any direction that could be possible to me. And I felt like a master's maybe could provide that. So at that time, I didn't pursue it yet, but it was, the wheels were turning and thinking, at some point, I think I'm going to want to do it. And so just a couple of years ago now, when I finally took it seriously and I started looking at schools, online became the most prominent feature of a requirement that I was looking for in a master's program. Because for me, when I started looking at the schools that were available to me, if you look in your like local location, a lot of times you have to be a full-time student to do a master's degree through what's next to you, or there's just other limitations. And so in order to keep my job and be able to go to a school that offered basically everything that I needed, online was a huge requirement for me.
Thank you, Emily. That gives us a great perspective on your choice. Would anyone else like to add to why did they decided to get their master's degree?
I can go next.
Sure. Yeah. So since I was already in my mid-career before I started, so I craved more advanced material that's relevant to my technical management job. Because in medicine is actually very high. It's actually highly technical, and when we look at the human body, it's actually it's a lot of systems working together. So it's when I look at systems engineering, for example, in my class, related to aerospace, when I look at those aircrafts, I was like, oh my God, this is like it's just like looking at a human body. But you can learn those engineering principles and apply to healthcare, and then you get a new set of solutions to some of the very complex healthcare issues. Because I think a lot of you, everyone knows how complex healthcare is. There isn't a perfect healthcare system, and it's actually it is possible to have a reasonably priced, high quality, and efficient healthcare system, But most of the time, it's not happening because we don't have the professionals who are capable of solving problems, very complex problems, at a systems level. So when I saw those classes, that's what motivated me to continue and pursue a higher level of courses. And also, I work full time and am a mother to a 17-year-old son. So I needed a high quality online program with a more flexible structure. So this CU Boulder's engineering management program is perfect for me.
Thank you, sharing. Applying systems engineering to healthcare. That's great. And you can also keep an eye on your 17-year-old, which is obviously 100% necessary with any 17-year-old, right? Great. Thank you. Mariam, you were going to answer, I believe. I think you had something to add.
Yeah, two main reasons. So I worked a lot on a lot of complex problems, and I was lucky to be mentored by very talented mentors that gave me big knowledge acumen. And at some point, I was coaching and mentoring people who had master's degree. But there comes a point where you need that credibility to show to client that yes, I'm a data scientist by profession, but I'm also by education. So that credibility part is something I missed badly. I always wanted to pursue graduate study, but it never happened because life was just taking me. Either I had to leave my job or leave my family. The tipping point actually was my son. He was like, Mama, why don't you go to super school? And I was like, that's it. I have to find a solution now. And that's where I found the program. And it was perfectly suited for my case.
Excellent, excellent. And your son is prompting you. That's even better. I love that. It's a family goal here. Ryan, do you have any questions for our panelists?
Sure do. And forgive me, did everybody get a chance to answer? Anybody else? I know we had 3, maybe 4. All right. And so, yes, actually, the next question I'd like for each of you, if you're able to, can you talk a little bit about the admission process for each of your programs? And whoever would like to jump in first, feel free.
I'll
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. So the mastery application process at UC Berkeley evaluates your academic and professional background with a focus on real-world impact and leadership potential. One of the requirements is a bachelor's degree in any STEM field with a minimum of GPA 3.0, and applicants must submit a resume, transcript, a statement of purpose, a personal history statement, and 2 or 3 letters of recommendation. And for the international applicants, they are also required to provide a proof of English proficiency, which is TOEFL or IELTS. And for this program, there are 4 focus areas to choose from. So you can pretty much select the one that aligns with your goals, which is either robotics or control, advanced manufacturing materials, engineering systems, and energy and environment. There is no GRE or internship requirement, just a clear purpose, a leadership mindset, and readiness to grow. The program consists of 24 total units, and tuition is pay as you go at $1,750 per unit, totaling around $42,000 plus campus fees. That's all. Thank you.
So from my perspective on admissions, I think it was really straightforward. I think that it was easier for this than what I went through when I did undergrad admissions. One requirement I would say that was different was the standardized tests, right? Like when I was going through SAT, ACT in undergrad, there was all of that I had to navigate through. But in this particular program that I applied to with Dartmouth, I did not have that requirement, which was nice. The few requirements that are a part of it were you know, what your experience was. If you have previous coursework in some key areas, that definitely helps. I will say, depending on your resume and where your skill set is at, there's flexibility. You know, it kind of all depends where you're coming from. But in the actual application, a lot of it was reflective questions, like statement of who you are and what you want to do, and just being really honest about like who you are as a learner and where you wanted to go. And I had the pleasure of working with Ryan. He made it really easy on me to know what I required. And I was actually taking some Coursera classes in the background when I was doing my applications to get like boosted again on my linear algebra and some other like math-based background sort of classes that will get me ready for the courses I was going to be taking in the program.
Thank you,
Okay.
Emily. Would anyone else like to talk about
Yes.
the admission process?
For this, for CU Boulder's program. So CU Boulder actually has a couple of programs, not just engineering management. They also have computer science, data science, electrical engineering. So a program for different, different tech skills. And for me, I picked engineering management program, and the admissions process is actually very, very straightforward. You don't need to submit an application. You just need to fill out a registration form, and you just pay as you go. And you can just pay for 1 credit at a time. So they did something very interesting. So instead of like a 3-credit master's level course, they broke it down into 1 credit each. And the good thing about it is as long as you have a Coursera account, a free account, you can preview the non-credit version before you enroll. So you can take a look at the lectures and see if it's for you before you fill out the form and pay for that 1 class. And if you want to go if you want to complete your program faster, you can take 6 or maybe 8 classes at a time if you can handle the load. So just because you don't have to submit an application doesn't mean the program is easy. So it depends on the quality of work. If you submit good quality of work, of course you'll be admitted. And I think the most important thing is for me, like why I chose this program is because they let us preview the courses. So if I see something, for example, I need to brush up on some statistical skills, then I can take my time to do that before I pay for that class. So that ensures my success in the program.
Thank you, Sharon, for explaining performance-based admissions at Colorado. Okay. Who are we missing here?
Northeastern.
Go for it.
So they have a very interesting system. It's a fast track application where you are not required to do any official test or submit any official test. You upload your resume. If you have a LinkedIn account, you put it, and then it's performance-based admission. You take 2 courses or 1 course at a time. But when you finish those 6 credit hours with the B grade or higher, then you are admitted to the full program, and then you are a full Northeastern University student. And this is perfect especially for those who don't perform well in tests. This is like, it was music to my ears, to be honest. So that's for Northeastern.
I hear you. Standardized tests were never my strength either, so I'm glad you got to avoid that. Okay, perfect. Let's go to Ryan. Do you have another question? Oh no, you had. Let me go to mine here. I'm just looking at the time, and I was just I want to know what advice you would give other women who are interested in getting involved in STEM, but might be hesitant to take the leap. The goal is obviously to get more and more women in STEM fields. So what advice would you all give to other women?
I think for me personally, advice I would give to anybody is don't worry so much about your resume and what you know right now, everybody has a day one, you know, everyone has a day when they start and they don't know much about what they're learning about or what they're doing. But if you have the desire, you have the interest, and you want to go further, that will take you really far. It's the hard work and motivation that's the hardest thing to find. And if you have that, I think you can learn pretty quickly, and you can get up to speed to where you need to be. And honestly, I would say, like, if you're making a foray into STEM for the first time right now, that's actually a golden opportunity, because you can ask all the questions in the world and no one has an expectation that you have an answer, right? Like, you can ask whatever and you don't have to feel stupid because there's no expectation that you know anything yet. That's at least the way I would see it. I truly think too, like, it's more about a mindset of how you handle things, right? Like in engineering, I always think of it as like, we're just solving problems all day, right? Like, you might know one technology, you might know Python, you might know something specific, but it's really more of like, how do you methodically think through problem solving? And if you have the right way of challenging yourself and looking at problems, you can take on pretty much anything. You know, you at least will have the right resources to get through that problem. And so, you know, like, going back to the question of, you know, what do you need, or what's the advice you have for somebody going into STEM? It's really like interest, desire, hard work that's going to take you really, really far.
Thank you, Emily. I love that. Everyone has a day one, right? And there's no reason to stop yourself. Thank you. Would anyone else like to add any advice getting women into STEM, going into STEM, excuse me?
Yes. So I would encourage everyone to just stop overthinking and just give it a try. I used to worry a lot about not being good enough because I lacked a traditional engineering background, but I realized that a growth mindset is way more important and it can take us very far. And to be honest, when I'm tackling a problem, most of the time I'm just laser focused on solving a problem, and sometimes I forget that I'm a woman, so I don't really think about women in STEM that much when I'm solving problems. But another thing, besides the mindset that Emily mentioned, I believe passion is very important. I believe that if we deliver quality work, someone out there is gonna see our effort and is gonna feel our passion. And to be honest, I would say I got most of my jobs because of my passion. Like, I would go to an interview, and you know, when the interviewer asked me, "What do you know about this or that?" I would say I really don't know, but I want to learn. And they hired me because of the passion, because they told me that passion is something that cannot be taught. But if you show passion, most of the time people are willing to give you a chance.
Thank you, Sharon. I can feel your passion. I can feel all of your passion. So thank you. Would anyone else like to add, provide some advice?
I would say you're stronger than you know, more capable than you're aware. And if you're passionate about something, don't let labels hold you back. Just go after it. You know, you never know what you could or couldn't, or what you're capable of, unless you try. Regardless of judgments, just follow your heart and passion and see where that takes you.
Excellent. You're more capable than you know. I love that. This is great advice. Perfect. Ryan, do you have any, are you looking to find some answers to some questions? What do you have for us
do.
today?
And looking at the time, I'm excited we can move into a lightning round here of questions for the last one or two questions. If any of you would like to participate, this one, if you could each in maybe 15 to 30 seconds, I know that's a little bit of time, I'm sure, for a lot of support, but regarding that, in your particular program, what support is available for you as an online student?
So mine was a little bit touched on actually in that video with Kendall. I had Kendall as a professor, by the way. She's great. The professors have been really supportive. For my program in particular, we'll do in-class sessions. I mean, in class over, you know, online session, but in class like 2 times a week, and then they have pre-recorded elements, and that's where you can go through and like repeat and rewatch things, which is actually a very nice thing to have versus regular traditional like focused on your notes kind of taking in a class, and then you can't reference it later, like you have to be dependent on notes. I kind of like having the online format of being able to go back. But in terms of like assistance to us, we also have TAs in all of our classes. And so we have individuals who are focused on helping us as students, and they hold office hours. They're also available anytime we just have questions to them. And like Professor Farnham, for example, I had her in an FPGA course, and she met one-on-one with me when I had questions. And so I found that all of my professors have actually been really open and helpful and like wanting to get us on track when we have questions and when we reach out to them. Like they want us to reach out if we have problems, right? They don't want to see us get stuck. So overall, I felt like I've had a lot of support. And then on just like the admin side of house, if you have questions about your degree, in my particular program, Dartmouth has people who are actually assigned for our online degree programs, and they will help us navigate any issues like that. So I've felt overwhelmingly supported, and whatever issues come up.
All right, thank you, Emily. Who's next?
I'll go ahead. So for the MASI program, they provide at UC Berkeley, they actually provide a strong academic support through live sessions. There are faculty office hours, recorded lectures, and a dedicated program team that responds quickly to student needs. They have peer discussions and group projects also help you stay connected, even while learning remotely. And that's what helps me the most. Beyond academics, UC Berkeley also offers a wide range of resources for MASI students, such as a full access to UC Berkeley's digital libraries, which actually helped me the most, especially when looking for books or research papers, I think. They have virtual wellness workshops too, through RecWall. They have career services and graduate peer support. The university also emphasizes building an inclusive community, helping students connect meaningfully both on campus and online.
Thank you very much. And then for I believe Sharon and Miriam, if you can share quickly what type of support you have, and we will move on to our final section.
Right. So for the CU program, for my program, because it's about engineering management, so most of my classmates are already working as managers or in upper management. So we don't really have direct contact with our professors, but all the materials, the lectures, and the notes, they are enough. And we have TA sessions, and my favorite is the Slack channel. So the university offers a Slack channel where we can interact with other classmates. So I have met many wonderful classmates, and they're all wonderful professionals, and we've become friends. So a couple weeks ago, a lot of them traveled to Boulder for graduation. So they shared their pictures. They shared how great the campus was, and it was really great. It felt like I felt like I was an on-campus student, even though I'm so far away from the campus, and it makes me feel like I'm part of a family. That is a very interesting experience, especially it's through Coursera. Even though it's through Coursera, I feel like I'm part of Boulder.
So the university offers 2 emails dedicated. There's a team for the online course to support and help with any kind of question or any kind of technical issue, let it be with the lab sessions, as well as we have a program manager that we can reach out to even on Slack at any time. She's very responsive. With regards to the courses, there are countless TA office hours that I can't keep up with all those numbers. In addition to the professor, him or herself have a weekly office hour that we can attend. And for those who are out of the time zone, we can attend the recorded session of it. There are many channels of discussion and support that we can reach out to apart from those on Coursera, through discussion channels or through just simply dropping a comment. Despite I'm thousands of miles away from the campus, if it doesn't feel like an obstacle, I feel like I have all the support I need to manage, and I never reached a point where I was stuck. So being a distance student didn't feel like an obstacle to me.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for each of you being willing to share about that. We definitely appreciate it. To close out our presentation, we have just a few more engineering degrees we'd like to share with you. So if we want to share from there, starting out, we actually have the University of Colorado Boulder offers also a Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering, 100% online. With pay-as-you-go tuition and top faculty, this flexible program has been ranked in the top 5 for electrical and computer engineering graduate programs.
And also coming from West Virginia University is the Master of Science in Software Engineering. This program has been ranked #1 for most affordable masters in software engineering in 2024 by Tech Guide, and boasts the same professors as you would expect as an on-campus learner. So for those of you who are worried about budget, maybe West Virginia is a good option for you. And as of last month, we have 2 new engineering focused degrees hosted on Coursera. So we're always adding more programs, and here's our new ones. The Master of Science in Engineering Management from Northeastern University offers an 8-course curriculum for learners who are interested in leveling up their engineering leadership and technical skills. With no application or technical experience required, the FastApp enrollment process is now open. Ryan, I think you might have your microphone off. There you
Indeed,
go.
I do. Thanks, Carolyn. I appreciate that. We do have the Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence degree, was mentioned earlier, from CU Boulder. This degree can be completed in as little as 12 months, offers a deep focus in AI, and it's recommended for those who may already have a computer science background. You can check out the degree page and enroll in open content. The first cohort starts this August.
All right, well, it seems like we are at time. Time flew listening to the end, our panelists, such great answers and just very interesting information, learning more about women in STEM. So we want to thank you today for being here. We all appreciate it. And for all of you watching here, be sure to check out the degree pages that we shared in the chat to learn more and take the next step in your learning journey. As a reminder, the recording will be sent out afterwards, so feel free to watch it again. Book a meeting with us. Ryan and I are always here to speak with you and help you with, choosing which degree program might be the best for you. And take that next step in your educational journey with an engineering master's degree. Have a great rest of your day.